Hi, it's the Liverpudlian, and I'm with Iain Hoskins. And Iain, do you want to tell me what's going on today?
Yeah, so we're here at the launch of the Bordeaux Taste Liverpool Festival, which is happening. I guess it's about 5 weeks' time now. We're kind of at the midway point of April, or the end of April, and this is going to be the bank holiday weekend in June for the Queen's Jubilee weekend. We're sat on a little bit of a cloudy day on the top of Oh my. I was about to say one fine day, but that's around the corner, isn't it?
It's the Goodness Gracious rooftop
Goodness
garden.
great, that's exactly, yeah. And actually, where we're sat here now, we can oversee the beautiful Three Graces, even on a cloudy day. And if we just squint a little bit, we can see the location of my new bar, which is due to open.
Yeah.
We think at this stage it's probably going to be around the weekend of the 19th, 20th of May.
Brilliant.
And so that is going to be called Nova Scotia, which is named not after Nova Scotia in Canada, the region in Canada, but it's named after the forgotten shanty town, essentially, that stood where Mann Island is now today. So that was an area that existed probably for about 300 years, from the 1600s to right up until just before the First World War. It got progressively smaller as Liverpool's docks expanded and basically essentially swallowed up that area completely. Obviously, over that period of time, there was huge change in Liverpool, from being a small little fishing village to being the biggest industrial port in the world. As a result, Nova Scotia changed from a very sort of sleepy little enclave where there were sail makers and rope makers, but that area, or that part of the docks, before predated Albert Dock and all the other big docks that kind of are here now. But essentially that was the main route from Canada to Liverpool, that small little port area there. And the main trade was wood, for the shipbuilding of all the ships that were built in this dock before it moved across the water and down towards Seaforth and Bootle. And there was obviously a trade in maple as well, which you'd expect with Canada. The maple wood was used for a lot of the fine furniture that the shipping merchants would have had at that time. Interestingly enough, and not many people know this, there's actually a Liverpool in Nova Scotia. There's also a River Mersey in Nova Scotia, and also a Mann Island as well. So these links were very, very strong. But today, fast forward to modern day, it really is a forgotten part of Liverpool that not really many people know. Obviously, the maps that we know and that sort of are there, almost like when the Liver buildings were built, feels like it was the big bang for the docks. So really what was there before is quite different. Some of the listeners might be familiar with the Luminaire brothers, who were the first French brothers to record stuff on film. And they did a lot of the early aviation and aircraft stuff. You'd see kind of old kind of footage of the first planes that flew. They also did some footage on the overhead railway, which I think was about 1902, which predates the building of the Liver buildings, the Port of Liverpool and the Cunard building. And that is about 7 minutes long, and it goes really the length and breadth of the dock as it was then. And you can see Nova Scotia. It's quite hard to pinpoint, because a lot of your buildings that you would know to be able to go, oh right, I can see the Liver building there. There's a couple of warehouses which still remain to this day, and that's how you can tell where you are on that footage. But yeah, that remains a very sort of cobbled streets. Obviously you were having stowaways that were coming in from ships. It was a high level of prostitution there. There was a lot of pickpockets and thieves. So it was a very, very typically kind of dockside kind of area for that time. And probably was a little bit kind of rough and ready, like a lot of the kind of the dockside stuff was. But it was a really interesting part of Liverpool that now is largely forgotten. So we found that location, and it seemed really appropriate to kind of mark it with something that was there before. Interestingly, I've always felt that the new Mann Island building, which we're part of, that was a sign of Liverpool's kind of post 2008 Renaissance, the new millennium. kind of Liverpool's back in business now. Culture is its main economic force, tourism. So that was built really in order to sort of signify Liverpool's change. That had been a kind of a battered old car showroom and low-level bus stops and things like that before. Now, obviously, when you're in that area, it is world class. All the kind of works that were done on the Strand last year and the year before all work really, really well. It's an incredible world class destination, and it's just interesting the fact that Nova Scotia kind of got forgotten and swallowed because of the progress at that time of building the new docks and all the industry that was coming in. And it sort of feels a nice sort of end to the story in some ways, that's come full circle, that now we've got a bar that celebrates this forgotten part of Liverpool that sort of fell foul of Liverpool's progress. So it felt sort of slightly poetic, I guess, in some ways, that we'd kind of mark that with a nod to the past for that area.
Yeah, well, that's really fabulous, Iain, because it just shows the passion you have for sort of your new venture, and I think it complements very, very much, your other venues like Ma Boyle's and Tempest on Tithebarn, and it's just, so that'll be coming, what was it, mid-May?
Mid-May, yeah, we're kind of knee-deep in construction at the minute, so there's a little kind of asterisk with all of that, but that's what we're aiming for, and we obviously want to make the most of the summer. We say on a very cold day today, but hopefully we will have some summer. And it's probably a good sign for me, the fact that it's not really been that warm yet, so hopefully we still have got the long days of summer ahead of us.
Well, that's fabulous. Thank you very much, Iain. That's greatly appreciated. And
cheers, Peter.
The history as well was fabulous.
Yeah, brilliant.
So thank you very much. It's been the Liverpudlian, and I've been with Iain Hoskins, owner of Tempest on Tithebarn, Ma Boyle's and Nova Scotia, which will be opening very soon, and I'll let you know of when it does open. All right, bye now.